Hey, now then folks, so just as the year was ending I picked up a few more interesting bits, so I'll start off with one of them. I've been after one of these for a while. You can still buy these, but you don't get them with trades on anymore. This is a Cybergun branded KWC Smith Wesson M405. So let's get to showing the gun. Now, I've reviewed this gun before, and it's no different from the untraded version really, apart from the fact it has trades. This is a non-hop-up gun, so it doesn't really have much in the way of range or accuracy. We've got a 12-shot magazine, and it is a lockdown feed, and then button at the top when you insert the magazine will open up the feed, and it does also, when you insert the magazine, release the follower. These magazines are used in a few, I think three different models that they do that use this particular magazine. They also do a Colt Double Eagle, a 1911, and this, and they all take the same magazine, just as much as their broader handled sort of Wonder 9 type guns like Glock and the Beretta that they do, and this is one for the SIG 226, which I also picked up just before New Year. That's the mag for them. You can see the three indexes on the side for the three different guns, and this has two indexes on the side, so I guess two of the guns have a similar layout of where the mag catch is. Probably, I'm guessing, the Double Eagle and this one will have a similar level of where the mag catch is. And all they do is they have these little base plates which are swappable, and they put a different base plate for whichever relevant gun that you have. So the actual cocking of this gun, it's nice and smooth, it's got a nice pop to it. They are not easy guns if you want to stick a hop in it. Not that many people do, but you know me, I like to fuck around with things. It isn't easy to put a hop in it. I have put a hop in this, and even with fitting the hop, it's only hopping twos, I'd say about 15-ish meters. It does go a little bit further. It's slightly under hopping twos, I would say. It'd be nice if I could tweak it that little bit more, but it's such a piss about to adjust, and the more you try and fiddle it back and forth, the more risk I have of just completely breaking the whole hop chamber. Weight wise, it's a relatively light gun. This is kind of KWC's lower end range. You will see a couple of my videos where I've done the 1911s, but they're a higher grade gun, and they're much weightier, much more solid, much more metal internal pieces, etc. And yeah, they're just overall a nicer gun. But they do, as I was saying before, one that takes this type of magazine, and it's like that lower end 1911. They did a Colt Delta Elite, the 10mm Delta Elite, and standard 1911. So yeah, one interesting thing to note, which I did notice, is the box. And I looked upon the other literature that I have for older sort of KWC stroke Cybergun guns, And you notice in all the images, it has this style trigger guard. It's got a slight sort of curve, and then it sweeps in, and then a little sort of a finger grasp around the front of the trigger guard. Whereas you notice this one doesn't have it. It's like that in the catalogue as well, this gun, when it's listed. So that got me thinking. I have seen another KWC Smith & Wesson, but it's a slightly different version to this. It's the 4525. So I thought, I wonder if that has the other, the other lower frame on. And indeed it does. So I've only found 2 of those, and I was kind of tempted to buy them, but they're over in the US second hand on eBay, relatively cheap, but once you start importing things, plus the seller doesn't even sell out of the US anyway. I did message him and he refused to post out of the US. But the other problem with them is they have an orange emblazoned tip. They've actually painted the whole front first centimetre of the slide. There's 2 of them there. One is a silver one and one's a black one. So the difference is not just the front edge of the trigger guard. They do have markings on, but they're not Smith & Wesson markings. It has KWC model rather than Smith & Wesson written there, and kind of a weird sort of, on this one it has the Massachusetts register and Smith & Wesson Springfield blah blah blah, and on the lower frame it has mod 4506 for some reason. But the trades on this 4525 are somewhat kind of half-arsed and kind of more airsofty trades, as I refer to it. The other difference as well is that on that gun it has the straight backed grip, and it also has a single-sided, on this one it obviously the safety here is not non-functioning, it's just a moulded design, but it just has a single-sided safety, so that side is just a sort of a flattened off piece, and that's about the lot, which differences wise. As said, this is the original traded version, so it's got the Smith & Wesson on the side, and also it's quite nicely moulded in on the back strap of the grip there on both sides. Little Smith & Wesson logo and Smith & Wesson written on there. You might not have noticed before, upon cocking it is a closed ejection port type. That is common with the majority of the KWCs that I have, and it is also a functioning hammer. One thing I did do, a lot of these cheaper sort of lower end KWCs that they do, they have like a hollow side. One of the sides on the hammer is just sort of hollowed out, just, I suppose, a simplification for the moulding. But what I did was just fill it in with a bit of epoxy so it's solid on both sides. And another thing to note, as per a lot of the KWC guns, they do strip quite nicely and easily if you want to get into them, although there's not much that you can do once you get into them. They're a relatively solid internal build. You've got a nice metal spring guide post, so that's not going to break anytime soon. The internal that all goes into the slide is quite hard to remove if you do want to try to get into that. I did buy one of these off free ads, and just before the guy was posting it, he messaged me and said, "Oh, it's not working. I've taken this to my local airsoft shop to see if they can fix it." And I said, "No, don't take it to your local airsoft shop because they'll know fuck all about it. Just send it to me. I don't care if it's broken. They will break it if they try and get it apart. And lo and behold, that's exactly what they did. So luckily, I have found this, another one, also found on free ads, and bought this one. So I've been on the hunt for one for a while and thought I had one at one point, and it fell through. So yeah, quite happy with that. The sights are marked. You'll notice they've got a little vertical stripe on the either side of the rear sight and one on the front sight, which is a nice little addition. So yeah, I think that is about the lot. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. The Smith Wesson 4505. Cheers, guys.